Hey guys, Brian Schmidt here, Bassmasters Elite Series Angler. I'm about to give you my top 3 choices for poor water quality. All right guys, we're here at Leesburg, Florida, beautiful Harris chain of lakes. You know, we're noticing there's been some change in water quality here. There's a lot of off-color water. There's water that has like an algae bloom going on. There's a lot of lost vegetation that's missing. And the state or whoever's responsible for it, they'll come into these fisheries and spray submerged grass and grass that's above the water for whatever reason, guys, but this draws all the oxygen out of the water. It can really hurt the water quality. It can make the water get dirty. I'm gonna give you some real good tricks and tips on how to fight that. Okay guys, trick and tip number 1. This is my number 1 trick for you. This is a Spro bronze eye frog in the junior size. This is the albino color. Why am I doing this, guys? Think about this. The water quality's poor. It's got some off-color water. The habitat's shrunk. If you were in your house and somebody turned the lights off, or the power went out and it got pitch black, you're gonna try to find safety by finding the wall. Where, you know, okay, here's the wall. Same thing the fish have to do. They have to find something to be near to feel secure, and they're gonna go right to the bank, guys. And here's another really cool thing. Because of the lack of vegetation, the water quality's poor, there's a lack of oxygen. A lot of times, the shallowest water on the fishery will have the best oxygen. So now you have 2 things going for you. Plus, this bait allows me to cover water. It's kind of very weedless too for throwing way back over into the thick junk that's left on the bank. And you know, you have the equipment to pull big fish out of this stuff. All right, let's talk about why this frog, why I chose this particular model, this particular color. Guys, right now there's also a little bit of a shad spawn, and the shad are very small. That's why I went with the junior size and the color. The color helps me match the shad, you know, more natural white colors. Also, this stands out pretty good, guys. You know, it contrasts the water, it imitates the bait, and the size imitates the bait. Plus, this smaller model, I don't know, guys, a lot of times it generates bites that the bigger model might not. So when you're dealing with poor water quality, you want everything going in your favor. So this is definitely a really good choice for this scenario. I've caught a lot of really big fish on it. Check it out. All right, guys, tip number 2 coming at you. This is swim jig. Swim jigging. This is my signature series swim jig from Hayabusa. Personally designed this bait from start to finish, all into swim jig. I've done it for a long time on the Potomac where I've grown up and everything. We're gonna dive into why this swim jig will work for you and all the little insights that we got it, you know, developing it. I have a missile bait shockwave on here in frosted purple, 3.5 inch. And why this color, why this bait? Let me tell you. So we talked about in tip number 1, you know, the frog and getting really shallow. This bait will get shallow, but we can also work it a little bit deeper. We can slow our retrieve down, get just a little bit deeper. We're covering water, okay, but we're also still imitating the shad and you know, the bait fish with this particular color. So I want you to take a really quick look at these eyes on this bait. These aren't just, you know, flat eyes. These are bulging eyes. And they're kind of marble style. So what happens, guys, you know, when you're swimming this jig through whatever cover you are, or wherever you're fishing it, the sunlight reflects off these eyes at whatever angle it's at, and it puts off a little bit of extra shine in the water, gets you a few more bites. Really important in poor water quality. Any little trick you can have. So these eyes are a big deal. I have Mylar. This is a little bit shinier Mylar on this jig. Helps in the poor water quality, you know, poor visibility, a little extra shine. You know, very light weed guard. You can't really fish this where you would fish the frog, a little bit less vegetation because of the weed guard, but this is just an excellent tool to cover water and stay shallow because of the poor water quality and generate a lot of bite. You know, I got this on 15-pound fluorocarbon, guys. Like I said, light weed guard, a little bit finessier hook. This hook can catch you a really big fish. This hook's just not designed to fish it on braided line, okay? You gotta have fluorocarbon, a little bit lighter setup. Poor water quality trick and tip number 2. Okay guys, I gave you tip 1, I gave you tip 2. Now we're gonna dive into tip 3, the drop shot. Why a drop shot? Well, let me tell you why a drop shot. Poor water quality. That's why. A drop shot gets you bites. Any kind of scenario, a drop shot is the #1 go-to for so many tournament guys when they need to get a bite. But let me tell you something, I've had some really good tournaments where this is all I've thrown. You know, really good days fishing where this is all I've thrown. Oh, I want to throw big rods and big baits. Well, let me tell you, this catches just as many fish. And the thing about this, why this is my go-to for tip 3, is I feel like if there is a fish there, if I come across and I present this to a piece of structure or to where I believe a fish is, the high chance of them biting this is really, really, really high. It outweighs anything else that I've come across yet. So I got this on 12-pound P-line fluorocarbon, 12 pounds, a little heavy, but we're not line shot. You know, poor water quality, you can't see that good, so they're not really too worried about the line. It helps me get a bigger fish to the boat. It's a 957. This hook is from Hayabusa. This is a really cool hook, guys, a light wire hook, but it has an elevated hook point. The hook point's higher than the line tie. This is due to get you better penetration when you're setting the hook. A fish's lip's gonna really catch that a lot better than, you know, an even hook point. So that's my choice there. This is a Missile Baits Magic Worm. This is a fish catcher, guys. You gotta check this out. Why the Magic Worm? It's really, really soft. It comes in really, really cool colors. And just the action of this when you're doing nothing, that's a really cool thing I want to touch on real quick. Drop shot, a lot of times do nothing. Just throw it in there. The worm is gonna move on its own, okay? Sometimes if you work it, it's too much action. So let it do its thing. Missile Baits Magic Worm gets me a lot of bites. Rains tungsten 3/16. I'm going with 3/16 tungsten sinker. Got this on a Fitzgerald shaky head rod. Fitzgerald fishing shaky head rod is my go-to. A lot of times for largemouth drop shotting, a little heavier drop shotting, not smallmouth, but this style right here. And guys, you know, poor water quality is what we're facing, but I gave you 3 really good choices to combat that. And this is number 3, but it could be number 1.